Sarah, it's very nice to meet you. You're in Tennessee, is that right?
Yes, I teach music theory and composition at the University of the South in Tennessee, also called Sewanee. It's a small liberal arts college. Sewanee is, I believe, the only college like kind of owned by the Episcopal Church in the United States. So we actually have a very strong Anglican choral tradition here. So good fit for me.
So, Sarah, tell me at what point in your life you realized that composing was the job for you?
When I realized that I was never going to be that great a pianist, but I had a little bit too much stage fright, I guess you could say, to be a really good performer. And it just wasn't the exact area of my interest. So got more into composition in when I was around 16ish, and came around to the idea that this was the thing that I was going to be most happy doing. So decided to pursue it at a university level, and the rest is history.
Are you a singer as well?
I sang in choir a great deal during my time in the UK, and in my undergraduate at USC out in Los Angeles. Um, I so I'm a choral singer, I suppose you would say.
But they're the very best, aren't they?
The best at reading.
Well, do you know what, Sarah? I hope nobody's going to watch this video because I'll get into trouble. But um, I love the sound of the amateur choral voice more than any other voice.
Sure,
I think
yeah, of
it's
course.
a really beautiful. It's kind of untrained and it's natural, and it hasn't been put through some kind of processing. And the combination of all these voices together in a really good amateur choir, the sound is unbeatable. I really
Yeah,
believe
of
that.
course.
As you're sort of maturing as a composer or getting into composition, who are the musicians and the composers who influence you?
I have taken a lot of influence from early music, I think, over the years. I feel like I've learned a lot from the music of composers like Peritin and Macho. So I'm a bit of an early music nerd in that regard. I find the way that works back then were structured, and I, I, I've uh, I've always been inspired by how um, how Peritin turned one syllable into a minute and a half of music. I found that really fascinating, and uh, I feel like I learned a lot about harmony from Macho, and this sort of um, centering musical phrases around perfect intervals instead of chords. The harmony nerd in me found that really fascinating, especially when it comes to creating harmonic progressions that are maybe not quite so complicated, but still sound like me. That was kind of a watershed moment for me, I guess. I've also been really influenced by shape note singing, a tradition that we have over here. Speaking about, voices that have not been put through the classical training ringer. It's a really amazing choral tradition that we have in the States. Um, that the vocal performance style is very distinctive, akin to, perhaps Highland psalm singing or Bulgarian choral traditions, some of those um, folk traditions with a really bright vocal sound to them, but also the actual compositions that are performed in that tradition have some interesting traits to them. This is an early United States choral tradition. The repertoire sort of developed around um, ranging from very basic hymn tunes to full on polyphonic vocal compositions that were designed such that they could be taught easily. Um, and composers of this type of music had a really wide variety of training. So some were trained in European classical music at the time, some were absolutely not at all. So the mixture of influences and backgrounds created a unique folk but not tradition.
You
Um,
seem to be very open to folk music of
mhm.
the folk culture. And one of the works we're doing in this concert, as well as yours, a piece by James Macmillan, and he's written a piece called "The Gallant Weaver." I don't know if you know that, but
Yes,
it's got a real sort of Scottish feel to it, and I think whilst your piece is very, very different, I feel this Scottish influence. Is that possible, or am I
of
just imagining
course.
it?
Well, I lived in Scotland for 4.5 years.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah, I did grad school at the University of Aberdeen. And I'll tell you that I have sung the Gallant Weaver a number of times. And this piece, Mater Dei, that Crouch End is doing, uh, the University of Aberdeen Chamber Choir has continued to perform this piece every once in a while, even in my absence. You know, I finished up over there about 8 years ago now. Um, and wait, 8, 6. I can't do math. But they call this piece the heavy metal Gallant Weaver.
Really?
So yes, so
Oh,
that
well,
is
that's
that
a
is an apt
great
comparison. Yes.
coincidence, isn't it? Wonderful. Speaking of television, have you seen The Pit?
Yes, I love the pit.
It's wonderful. Now, are you going to write a piece influenced by The Pit?
Have you been stalking my Instagram?
I'm not on Instagram.
Okay, because just a few weeks ago, I posted on my Instagram story about wanting to write a piece inspired by the pit.
Oh, you're kidding
Um,
me.
I am not kidding you. I can pull up the receipts and show you. Yeah, and just posting about it to see if anybody else was interested because I know that it's a show that a lot of people are really interested in, and I've had very strong emotional reactions to it, and I imagine a lot of others have as well. So I was interested
Hmm.
in writing. You know the saying, "Physician, heal thyself."
Yes, I do.
And that saying is quoted on that show several times. And I actually didn't realize that. I'd heard the phrase before, but I did not realize that it was from a Bible verse. So that means that there is a Latin version. So
Okay.
my idea was to go back to, I have it written down somewhere, the exact going
Okay.
back and setting the Latin biblical passage
So have
inspired
you
by
started
the
work on
pit.
it yet? Have you started work on it?
No, no, I haven't,
Um,
because it needs a
yes,
home.
it
So
needs a home. Well, I was going to ask you about Mater Dei. You know that we're doing a different arrangement of it, don't you? We're doing the arrangement with the Ferrio saxophone quartet. Have you heard the recording that they've made of it?
yeah, I have. It's beautiful.
It
Yeah.
is beautiful. Now, the way ours will be different, of course, is it's a very big choir. We'll probably be about 100 singers. But even though we are 100 singers, uh, we're a truly excellent choir, and I can make 100 singers sound like four singers, because there's not a lot of vibrato in the choir, so they sing with very even tone, and it can sound like sort of a little piece of silk. So the only thing I was going to ask you, so I've actually got the music here, would you believe, is that towards the end. You've got these little notes in boxes, this kind of thing, where I've actually written on what it all means. Um,
Mhm.
do you think with a large choir, I can attempt those little boxes with everybody in the section, or do you think I should make it a few singers so it's a little bit more sparse and delicate? What?
Sparse and delicate are not exactly words that come to mind for this, at least this section of this piece for me, for sure. So I think you can absolutely attempt it with all the singers doing it.
Yeah,
Um,
that'd be great. That'd be
Especially
great.
if you're looking at page 19. I mean, that's the loudest bit of the whole piece. Um,
Right.
yeah, and
Yes,
that's
my
really
bones, my
the
bones.
and the saxophones are doing something unmeasured as well. So I
Yeah.
think just go for it.
Well, look, Sarah, it's lovely to meet you and find out a lot more about you. We're really looking forward to doing your work. It's on the 11th of July in Holy Trinity Church near Sloane Square in London. And next time you come to England, let's meet up and have a coffee, or you can bring some bourbon over. That's even better.
I'll try. I'll try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to.
I
Thank you
will
so
thank.
much. Hi, I'm Sarah Rimkus, and Crouch End Festival Chorus will be performing my piece Mater Dei on the 11th of July at Holy Trinity Church in Sloane Square. I hope we'll see you there.